Yo guys, what's up? Welcome back to Ramen Bangers Anime. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the winter 2021 season. This season was, for me, pretty much the first season where I actually watched like a lot of shows. I mean, I've been into anime for about close to 3 years now, I think, 2 or 3 years, and everyone starts out just watching shows that are already out, and then as they watch more and more shows, there becomes more seasons of shows that they've seen that are coming out. And so, yeah, this season had a lot of like sequels to other shows that I had already seen. So, we'll be talking about those and new shows. I think there was about 4 of each. So, before we get into it, if you guys enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like and consider subscribing. And yeah, let's just get right into it. So at number 8, Promise Neverland. So I watched the first 3 episodes of this, and the fourth one is when they like deviated from the manga, and I got like the notification on my anime list app with everyone angry about what happened, and I already wasn't too happy with the season. Thought it was pretty boring 3 episodes. Nothing really happened. I mean, they left the house. They left the house, found some demons in the woods. Nothing. And I had just seen the first season only like a week or two before, so it's not like I forgot what was going on. I just thought it was a very boring 3 episodes, and I didn't really care about what was going to happen once they left the house. I mean, it felt like the first season was amazing, and this season was a big drop off. There was not that I really care about animation, but the CGI was quite. There was quite a lot of that for the demons, and once I heard that they were deviating from the manga, I was just not. I didn't really care about the show anymore. Figured if I really want to go back to the series, I'll just read the rest of the manga. So that's why that's in last place. Next, Dr. Stone. So Dr. Stone is always a fun show to watch, and I always enjoy it when I'm watching it. But just because of the nature of the show, it's kind of just like a funny kid show teaching about science. For that reason alone, it's at number 7. I'm only about halfway done with the season, and I do want to catch up to it. I'll probably do that in the next day or two, but I just never really felt like I needed to watch it. I felt like I could always just binge a few episodes at once every few weeks, and there aren't very many stakes, I guess, for me. It's kind of just a fun show to watch. I do enjoy the show, and I like how unique it is, but it's not all that exciting compared to the other stuff. Like number 6, Wonder Egg Priority. So since this was a new show, I was excited about it. I didn't know what to expect. First, like 3 episodes, I was extremely confused at what was going on. I was always looking in like forums and comment sections, seeing what other people said about the series. And if you haven't seen this show yet, I don't know if I recommend it or not. As far as the new shows this season, it was definitely good, even though it was the last of the new shows that I watched. It was definitely good, but I think that there's shows of the same sort of nature that are better, like Madoka Magica, for example. I just watched Madoka Magica like 2 weeks, or no, like last week, and it felt like I was watching almost the same show as Wonder Egg, but better. The show was almost just like too dark, not in like a way that it was like scary. It just felt like the themes didn't really make sense and they were just dark for no reason. But then again, the series isn't over yet. I've watched all 12 episodes, but they decided for some reason to make the final episode air like 3 months later as part of it's like a separate listing on my anime list. So we'll see what happens with that. Hopefully the series ends off well, because Madoka Magica had an amazing ending, and I still haven't seen the movie for that, but that's beside the point. Number 5, I believe, is Horimiya. So this was another one of the new shows that I watched this season, and first episode I did not like it. I was like, this is boring. I don't care about it. Second episode, I was laughing really hard. Third episode, laughing. But then, after a few more episodes, it just felt very boring. And spoilers if you haven't seen the series, but by the time that Hori and Miyamura like become a couple, which is like episode 3 or something, after that it felt like the show was just missing something. It was missing the little, just like, I mean, it was interesting to see how they grew together, but I kind of wanted more of them, interacting but not dating each other. You know what I mean? But I will say that the other characters in the show are really good, the side characters, and I like how the show doesn't only focus on the main couple, but talks about like their friends and their relationships. So that was something interesting. And I get Hori's character, she's the female character. I did not like her at all. She felt like she was sort of just an idiot and someone that I do not like. Like how she wants to be what's the word? Like abused? Like not abused, but she wants to be like, she wants Miyamura to like yell at her and like be aggressive with her, which I know there are people that are actually like that. But then there's also people that as soon as you yell at them, they'll start crying. So it's just a very I hate her character, I'll be honest. I feel like she's everything that's wrong with females in society. But anyways, let's get on to the next one. Jujutsu Kaisen. So I know this one was technically the fall of 2020, but only half of the show was in that season. So even if I'm just basing it off the last 12 episodes, I would still put it at this spot, number 4, I believe it is. This show, I guess I can consider it a new show, even though it was the last half of a season. Definitely the last half of the season I thought was better with the exchange event. That was probably my favorite arc of the whole show. And I did just do a review about it in my last video. So I don't think I need to talk about too much here. But it is definitely a good show. Something that was definitely worth watching this season. And another one of the shows that I actually finished. Even though some of the ones, or at least one of the ones coming up, I didn't finish yet. But that's because I'm waiting to binge the last 3 episodes all at once. But anyways, let's get on to the next one, which is Attack on Titan. So the reason why this isn't number 3 for me is because I read the manga, and so I knew, it's not that I knew what was going to happen, I just wasn't as invested in the series. I'll say I was very invested in the manga. I think 2 chapters or so came out this season, and one's coming out in a week or so. Yeah, a week. And I'm very excited for that. That's the last chapter. So I'll say if I was including manga, it would probably be first. But as far as the actual season, I didn't watch the first arc until after it was already completed. I watched the first 2 episodes when they came out, but then I took a break for 5 weeks. And then I binged it all at once. And that arc was really good, the first arc of the season. The second arc of the season, I loved it in the manga, but for some reason, it felt like it was missing something in the anime. I don't know if it was the pacing or what, or maybe it's just, I feel like something happens when you go from the manga to the anime, and something feels missing. I don't know if it's the characters' voices, the way you imagine them in your head just doesn't line up with how they actually sound, or the heavy quotes just don't hit quite the same. But all in all, after the first arc, I watched every episode as it came out. So it definitely kept my attention and was kind of a good reminder of everything, or recap, I guess, because I read the Attack on Titan manga like probably almost 6 months ago now. And so with the new chapters coming out, I especially reading monthly is horrible, but it was a good reminder of everything that had happened before, because I forgot some of the stuff. So I definitely still enjoyed this season of Attack on Titan, and I'm excited for part 2. Extremely excited for that, because that's, in my opinion, the best part of the whole entire series is coming up. Number 2 is Skate the Infinity. This show was my favorite of the new shows this season, and I think this show has great characters. I'll start by saying that. Langa and Reki, I believe is his name. I'm horrible with names, but both of these characters were really good in my opinion. And as I said earlier, I'm only 9 episodes in, I think. I'm waiting to binge the last 3 at once. And I think actually the last one might be out by now, or it's coming out today or something. But anyways, this show was definitely my favorite new one this season. It was the one that I was most excited for, because like this season I didn't only watch seasonals. I rewatched Code Geass, and that took over a week. But during that week, this was one show that I always watched as soon as it came out. But then of course I took a break. But I'm still definitely going to go back to it, and I'm excited to see how it ends. But as far as, this is definitely a show that I recommend watching. It's only 12 or 13 episodes. I think 12, which isn't much. Especially, it's not too long, and it's a good series. I don't know if it's going to be as popular as it is now, 2 or 3 years from now. I don't think it has that longevity, unless the season 2 comes out. Again, I don't know how it's going to end, but I don't know. It's a show that I personally enjoyed it, but I can understand why other people wouldn't enjoy it as much. It was kind of, I guess, especially if you're a skater, I guess, this show kind of defies logic in that sense. It's really fun to watch, but if you are watching it for the skating, you're not going to enjoy it as much, because it uses anime logic. So, but I definitely did enjoy the story and the characters, and I'm excited to see how it ends. And so on to my number 1 pick of the season. This one's probably going to get... It's a strange pick, but Quintessential Quintuplets was the show that I enjoyed watching the most this season. So I think episode 8 was when I started watching season 1, and I watched the whole season 1, caught up to season 2, and as soon as the last episode aired, I read the entire manga, or the rest of the manga, and within 24 hours, the last 30 or 40 chapters. That is why this show is probably my favorite of the season, or it's definitely my favorite. It's my number 1 pick, but it's the only show that this season made me want to read the manga. I just needed to find out what would happen, and I did a review on the whole series if you want to check that out. But this was the only show this season that made me want to pick up the manga. That actually, as soon as every episode aired, I was watching it, no matter what. And I think it's the only one that I felt extremely attached to emotionally. I mean, Attack on Titan I was, but I already knew what was happening, so it wasn't that exciting or surprising. But this one, I didn't know what was going to happen, and I wanted to know, and that's why it was definitely my favorite of the season. But again, it's a lot of people. This isn't a very popular show. Well, it's popular, but a lot of people don't like it for some reasons, and I understand why. But I do love this series a lot, and it's the only one that made me want to continue the manga immediately. But that is the last pick. That's all 8 of the shows I watched this winter. If you guys enjoyed the video or want to share your own list, well, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like and consider subscribing. But if you want to share your own list, you can do so in the comments, or just talk about what you guys enjoyed this season. And I will see you all next time.